Oh, yeah, I have my phone.
But like if you get detained.
It could happen. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hello. Just talking about detention.
This is my detention.
This is my detention.
Are we on time? Are we late?
I think we're actually like on time for the most part. It's 9:31 and we usually go on at 9:30.
And I'm pretty impressed that we pulled it off.
I am too. As Amanda's pulling up notes on her computer, let me set the scene for what was happening moments before this.
And look,
I'll pull the notes up here.
Here's the thing.
Maybe.
And we did everything that she was about to tell you we did in matching outfits.
In our Harvey Specter School of Law sweatshirts. Crew neck, classic.
This is one of the softest sweatshirts I've ever owned.
It is so good.
It's good. Really chilly in Dallas today.
It is. It's chilly across the world.
I wore a ski coat when I was dealing with what you were about to tell people.
Okay, so here's what's going on in Amanda Austin's life.
Yeah.
A cat has moved into her garage.
And this is not like it's popped in. It's been here for, I think, a couple of weeks.
It's making itself a home out of her garage. Mm-hmm. It's moving boxes.
It's creating a litter box.
It's got a nice comfy chair that's going out for bulk trash that it has decided is its bed and hiding spot.
Yeah.
It's an adorable calico cat.
It is it's beautiful.
A beautiful, unneutered, unspayed calico cat.
That is now feeling comfortable enough to come straight up to the garage door and just meow.
Talk to us.
So now, it's holding my garage hostage, honestly. Yeah. And I can't get in there. So if I shut the garage, it stays in because it won't leave. Then when it does leave and it thinks that I might shut it, it runs back in.
Yeah.
And
it's like, wait, hold the door for my home.
And so now I have to go through the patio, open up the garage. It has also knocked the sensor off of the garage. And so I have to manually, it's a thing. And I can't just go out my garage door anymore because the cat's right there. And if the cat comes in, it doesn't make it. Because
Whiskey is a cat dog. Like he's a
coonhound.
He's a coonhound. And that cat looks like a coon. A calico raccoon.
Here's what I'm saying. My heart rate's still at a point where I bet you it thinks I'm getting zone minutes on my Fitbit. I bet you right now.
Also, it's the cutest cat. We fed it some chicken.
Yeah, Kyle, if you're watching, Kyle's my brother, Maggie's husband, and he was over here earlier to try and help
do not feed
get the cat out. He had a bunch of ideas, and one of them was do not feed the cat because of the fact that then the cat won't leave. But the thing is, then there's a cat just living in my garage. The only thing worse than a cat in your garage is a dead cat in your garage.
No, and this cat is too cute, and it immediately ran out to the little chicken.
It was so hungry.
It was so hungry. It was so cute.
Yeah, it wasn't even scared of us.
It's going to have a great home. Yeah. And the cat rescue organizations that are watching right now, reach out and help.
I've reached out to 4 now.
And this cat is like a model cat, the cutest cat.
Mungo, short for Mungo Jerry. For those of you who are Cats fans of the musical Cats, which we have spoken about before, it's also one of Louis Litt's favorite musicals.
It is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This cat came because it knew it was like Harvey Specter School of Law, Louis Litt. These people are going to help me because I am a cat.
And they knew that I would name it after one of the 2 calico cats.
Of course.
And it didn't seem like a Rumple teaser. No, Mungo Jerry seems like the instigator, and Rumple teaser is just,
along for the ride. Anyways, Mumbo is so cute. Reach out if you would like
to onlysuitsfans@gmail.com if you would like a cat.
If you can wrangle this kitten in a good home, you will be vetted.
Yeah, you'll be vetted. Yeah. This cat will already have a home by the time people even see it.
Yeah, it will. It's going to go
right now. It has a home in this garage.
Right now.
We cannot have a cat in this house.
No, this cat needs to find another home.
Yeah.
It's a Whiskey the producer dog.
Yeah.
Anyways, for those of you tuning in, we don't normally talk about cats. We normally talk about suits.
Yeah.
So welcome.
But sometimes we banter. So this happens to be what some people call in the biz, a cold open.
It's a little banter, a little like what's going on behind the scenes, a little BTS.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, let's kick us off.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Only Suits Fans. I am Maggie.
And I'm Amanda. And we're sisters
in law.
we're interrupting our recaps of the original Suits to cover the incredible gift that is Suits LA.
And today we are recapping season 1, episode 7,
Good Times.
Which we just finished watching.
And it was a good time.
It was a good time. Rest in peace, John Amos.
Yes. We're going to discuss that, of course.
And
it was really sweet that it was a wonderful tribute to John Amos.
But first,
because of our own musical cats happening here at the podcast studio, I only started to write a brief, and it's very brief.
Oh, good. I want to hear it.
I'm just going to read a little bit of it because I was a little bit distracted thinking about the fact that I'd made the choice to give this cat some chicken. So
it's a good choice.
It's a good choice.
I stand by that choice.
Yeah. Okay. You can also tell MJ that because she was so worried, like that the cat was starving.
No, I will tell her.
Okay. That you were part of the solution.
She was asking before I left, like, did Aunt Nana feed the cat? And I was like, I'm sure she did.
Okay.
And now I can confirm.
Yeah. All right. Here's this brief. We're not talking about Mungo anymore. When you're here, oh, wait, hang on. Let me start again. Oh, distracted. Thank you guys for your patience. Suits LA. When you're here, your family. It seems like our friends in sunny LA are really starting to make this show feel like the Suits franchise that it is. They're learning to put their differences aside to honor Ted's first client who just passed away. They're offering permanent jobs to friends who feel like family. They're turning down those permanent jobs because of family. There's also some fucked up family stuff, too. So, like, it's basically, when I say Suits LA, when you're here, your family, I mean, when you're here, what's the definition of family?
Mm-hmm. Is it like the Pellegrini family?
Right. Is it the Black family?
Is it the Stewart family?
Right.
Lots of families.
And that's our collaborative brief. Normally, they're really polished, I think. If we do briefies and boxers for this particular season, then I think we know where those boxers are going. Fitting nice and snug.
I thought that was a beautiful brief.
Thank you.
And I, again, love when you start to improvise the brief because your hands come out.
Yeah, they do.
They really, you really start to feel that brief.
It's how I ideate. That's how I ideate.
Ideate.
That's how I ideate with my ideate. I'm gonna ideate. I use my hands so I can ideate. All right.
Okay, so here we are, before the credits. Amanda and Ted walk out of 2 different elevators at the same time, and they are both feeling super smug, super braggy, because humility is for losers. And Ted invites Amanda to the full staff meeting, or the all-staff meeting, because he wants her to be there. And Rosalind kind of, like, gives her eyes, and kind of, like, watches this happen. Just to, like, remember that Rosalind is there.
Yes, it was interesting. Kevin is leaving on Thursday, so Ted pays him in full, and it's double what he said he would pay him. Ted also offers Kevin an office, metaphorically, and we learn that Kevin doesn't know what a metaphor is. Rosalind interrupts him and kind of flirts with Kevin again.
Yeah. It's interesting that Kevin was in the FBI but doesn't know what a metaphor is.
Well, I don't know that that's the training.
Well, what's a metaphor?
It's a comparison that doesn't, because a simile is a comparison that uses like or as, and metaphor does not.
Yeah.
Right? So I bet you he's used metaphors before.
Maybe he's a simile guy.
Maybe he's a simile guy.
Yeah, he's a simile-minded guy.
Yeah, a simile-minded guy. Sounds like a good episode name.
Ooh, yeah. There we go.
I gotta crank this one out tonight.
Tonight it'll be posted.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Stewart is also leading a staff meeting at him and Samantha's firm, and this staff meeting is pure chaos.
Right.
He's talking about how he has a meeting with David Bowie, but not the David Bowie who passed away in 2016. There's this lawyer, Copeland, who's like, what? I thought he passed away. How did he pass away? He pulls up a phone. He's trying to figure it out. And then Samantha's like, hey, Copeland, you're fired and your wife's cheating on him. And he doesn't even bat an eye. And then in all of this chaos, this horribly run meeting, Rick gets a text message and he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And he shows the text to Stewart and he's like, go. You have to leave.
Yeah. Ted's.
You can hear Whiskey, the producer dog, trying to communicate with Mungo.
Yeah, we put Whiskey into a bedroom to keep him away from the door where Mungo is pawing. And now, should I let him out?
I don't know if you should let him out.
I don't know what's going to be worse.
Yeah, maybe let him out. Maybe he just wants to be in here and know that we're safe.
Yeah. I'm going to let Maggie keep talking to you guys.
Cats. Who knew? Someone please reach out about cat adoptions. Okay, I'll continue. This other staff meeting is happening meanwhile, and it's at Ted's firm. And you would kind of think, I would think, that Samantha and Stuart run a pretty tight meeting. But actually, Ted's meeting is way more organized, makes way more sense, and he's there celebrating that they are on the front page. They're on the front page of the LA Times for their win in the Dester case, the Lester Dester case. And he's like, it's all about you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. And then he's like, and Amanda, this is really a special thanks to you. And while he's about to say why he invited her to the meeting, Rosalind interrupts. It cannot wait. John Amos died.
Mm-hmm. So like these dual scenes happening at the firms, they find out the same information at the same time.
Yes.
And then we hear our favorite song.
A greenback boogie.
After the credits, Kevin opens up a bunch of donuts and he is naming them all. First Depo for you. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any food out there that you name? Do you ever give names to any of your food?
I don't think I would, because then it like makes it personal.
Okay.
You know, and then you feel like you have to, like, you can't eat it.
Yeah.
Because it's like named.
That's fair.
How about you?
No, I don't. But there are times when I will say right before I eat something, I can't believe this is about to happen to me. And then after I eat it, I will say, I can't believe that happened to me.
I know. Sometimes, like, it's so good. What's the best meal you've ever had in your life? Have I asked you this before?
The best meal I've ever had in my life?
Yeah. A meal that you still think about.
You know, I think it's not about the meal, it's about the company.
Oh, that's sweet. I was thinking about specific meals that I have had, and I couldn't remember who I ate them with.
Yeah, I have to go back and think about the best meal I've ever had.
Yeah.
What's crazy is there are times when I'm like, this is the best meal I've ever had, and then I forget about it like a week later. You know, like I'm like, oh, that's a great restaurant. Oftentimes, though, when I will go to like a fun restaurant for the first time, usually, unless they're just starting out, way more blown away than when I go back and take people.
I agree with that.
So when I can find a restaurant that I can continue to take people to and be like, and it's still good and holds up, then I like that.
You know what? One of the most formative. I also think like once you've had everything, or you're like, oh, I've had this, I've had that, then it's less special.
Yeah.
But the first time I had Gloria's bean dip.
Oh, okay.
At the original Gloria's in Oak Cliff, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
I was like, I will be at this restaurant every Friday.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
Were you?
I was, because I was teaching right around the corner. So like the teacher of the math department would go there, drink margs.
That's great.
Their margs had Everclear in them.
Oh my gosh, it's so delicious and unsafe.
Unsafe, and so much bean dip was consumed.
Yeah, that's great.
So good.
That's great.
Mind blown.
Love it.
Okay, anyways,
sorry.
I don't name my donuts.
So he's naming the donuts, and Erica has a favor to ask him before he heads back to New York. She wants Kevin to find her mom's best friend, Caroline Baker, from elementary school in Altadena. Is the last time that they knew where she was. So,
because it's her mom's birthday. What a nice birthday gift. Meanwhile, Leah is meeting with that filmmaker from the earlier episode, who is a screenwriter, and they hit it off like they're besties. And this filmmaker wants to hire Leah as her attorney. Okay. And she gives her a script, and she goes, I just want to see what you can do with this. Okay. Which is so interesting that lawyers are like the script readers.
Yeah, I think it's more of like, who can they go pitch it to? Yeah, because they have those relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they're one of many people that are reading it, you know? So I think
and trying to pitch it.
Yeah.
You kind of predicted this. It didn't go in the exact direction that you were thinking, but earlier you were like, I think Leah and that filmmaker, she's going to leave to work with her. Yeah. And she doesn't necessarily leave, but she does start working with her. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
You're right.
It's just enough said. But yeah, this is a partial prediction.
We'll give it I would give you some points on this.
Yeah, I have half points, I think. Ted is on the phone with Rick. Ted says, hey, take a car. Ted gets in the front seat of his car service, which he had a question mark about this because we see a couple times where they get in the front seat of a car, and that does feel interesting.
I've never gotten in the front seat when I've ordered an Uber or something.
The only time I've done it is if it's like max capacity in the back.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but it was like his choice. And I don't know that it's his driver or if it's just a random driver.
I don't know.
Anyways, then we see a flashback. It's Ted's dad and him, and they've called to meet on this alley because his dad is facing criminal charges. And Ted wants to know what his dad wants from him. Like, oh, you're facing criminal charges, so you want to, like, have me get you off the hook because I work for the district attorney, the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not risking his career to help his dad. And then his dad's like, Teddy, wait. And Ted's like, don't you Teddy me. You got yourself into this. You get yourself out.
Yeah.
Teddy is such a different name than Ted.
Oh my gosh. It's so crazy.
So different.
It's also like Robbie is a different name than Rob.
And you know what? There's a character on Smash Bros, a robot, that's Rob.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, Rob. And Robbie was like, what's that mean? And I was like, it's actually like short for Robert or Robbie. And he goes, oh, I like it. And I go, do you want us to start calling you Rob? And he goes, yeah, Rob.
So now he's Rob.
He forgot immediately.
I've always wondered, like, when your kids are going to want to pivot names, if they will. Like, because I went through a stage where I wanted to go by my middle name. In the 7th grade, I told my family I was going to get it legally changed. So, like, okay, all right.
I wanted to start going by my middle name in 3rd grade, but then I soft launched it in the summer, and I was like, you know what? It's too much correcting.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have to have a whole campaign.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care. I don't care to do that work. I won't be Olivia. I will be Maggie.
Yeah.
Once it's like, that's my name.
Yeah. I tried it hard.
It's hard. That's a hard one, too.
Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And the spelling was hard.
Did you do a campaign for it?
I didn't do a campaign because I was also knew that in the 8th grade I was going to run for student council president, so I didn't want to split the difference on the votes and really have to move people. But I did a hard launch when I came back to school in the 7th grade.
And you tried to have people call you Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people did?
Lauren did, I'm sure.
Because she's a devoted best friend.
Yeah, but like nobody else. I mean, they would just forget. I'm like, it's Sean, you know?
It's so hard to correct people on that.
It is.
It's like, whatever.
You almost have to like move cities, which I guess I could have done when we moved, but like, you know, you see people that like when they start another job, they're like, I'm going to go by the, you know?
Right.
So.
Yeah. My
Anyways.
Aunt Meg did that. Like, she was always my Aunt Meg.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden she got a new job or something, and she was Margaret.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
Sure, but that's like she wasn't going like by like Caroline.
It's still her name.
Yeah, it's still her name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we'll keep it going.
Okay, so then we are back in the present day.
Yeah.
Ted and Rick are meeting up for drinks in order to honor John Amos's life because he was Ted's first client, and he was also the first client that Ted shared with Rick, so they have this in common. And Ted says, like, he's gone, but he's still trying to put us back together because he was such a peacemaker, John was. Like, he was more than a client to them.
Yeah.
And then they cheers to America's father, and they decide to drink each other under the table. They're going to get wasted at this lunch.
Oh, yeah. Stuart meets with the other David Bowie. And
he's a dick.
Huh?
He's a jerk.
Yeah, big time.
Oh my God. I was like, this man is awful.
Yeah. He was hired by the studio to stop a whistleblower from coming forward. And David Bowie is pissed that it's not Samantha in there. He doesn't want Stuart. He wants Samantha at a press conference saying that she believes in him. Any monkey can win this case. Give me Samantha Rawls back, or I'll find myself another chimp. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a real toot.
He's a real toot. He wants the Ted Black treatment that Lester got, but Ted believed in Lester.
Yeah.
And also, like, no one believes in the fixer for a studio. He doesn't have, like, the name recognition for Samantha to be out there.
Yeah.
But whatever. David Bowie.
Yeah.
Then it is after drinks, and Rick is super wasted. He's so wasted that he actually falls face first into a Hollywood star, the Walk of Fame.
Yeah. And
as he's getting up after his 6 old fashions, he is like, wait, you know who doesn't have one of these stars? John Amos. Like, we got to get him one. So Rick gets into the car. He also gets into the front seat for the car service.
Kevin finds Erica's mom's friend alive and well and living in France.
I think it was France.
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
It was in Phoenix. Because you had said France. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, it was Phoenix.
France.
Yeah, France.
France. You know, Phoenix and France both
have land.
They both
and some water.
And yeah, and they have the sound.
Yeah, it happens. You'll be in France. Maybe that's why you're about to be there.
Yes, yeah, I have France on the mind.
Yeah. Kevin mentions that Ted and him hadn't talked for 15 years, and during that time, his wife died, and he wished he had had Ted to talk to. Then Erica's mom, Anita, comes in and thinks that Kevin is super handsome, but she's married, so they're like doing this little flirting married thing.
Super inappropriate.
It was too inappropriate for me as well. Thank you.
An immediate, ooh, who's this fine man?
Yes.
And it's like, what? You don't even know this guy.
Yeah, sure.
But we find out why she did it in a moment.
Yeah.
First, Rick is asleep, and the driver turns on the massage chair feature, and it's amazing.
Mhm.
And then he confesses that ever since he left, he's realized that Erica, like he kind of confesses to Ted that there's something with Erica.
Yeah.
And this is when I realized why they're sitting in the front seat.
Why?
The massage chair.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is such a nice feature.
Yeah, I would sit in the front for that. I also get car sick, so I actually don't mind sitting in the front. There has been a couple of times where I'm like, do you mind if I sit up here? And I just get in the front. So.
And they're like, please, no. I don't have a massage chair up here.
Erica's out to dinner with her mom, who wants her to show some cleavage. Which is also an interesting statement. She says she was flirting with Kevin because she heard him talking about his wife and wanted him to feel something, and then he needed something. Like she wanted to kind of like liven him up. And then Anita shows her mom where Caroline Baker is, which is in Phoenix.
Not France.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A little easier to get together with her if she's in Phoenix than if she's in France, but maybe a little less fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although Phoenix is a fine city.
Yeah.
With a PH.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Fine.
Then we see Leah, and she is telling Rosalind that she has signed her first client for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, hey, Rosalind, like I got the first person, but then I read the script, and it turns out the script's actually not great.
Mm-hmm.
And I could actually write a better script.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if I should take a sabbatical and try and write some things and see if I could be a writer and then come back to the firm.
Yeah.
And Rosalind's like, oh yeah, totally. Just like Ted took off to be in a movie. No, not. This is for lawyers, not screenwriters. If you're going to be a screenwriter, you need to fully commit to that.
Yeah.
You can't just like do it on a sabbatical. So you either decide you have 48 hours to decide if you want to be an attorney or if you want to be a screenwriter.
Yeah.
So she basically gives her the weekend
to pick a lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking from experience, I think we all know that it's hard to pick a lane career-wise and what you want to do with your life in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And also what you do next isn't what you do forever. So, like, she can also, not that she's going to have a lot of spare time. She's an attorney. But, like, carve out a little bit of time here and there to write.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which she does.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
The 48-hour sabbatical is just stupid. I'm like, also, why does Rosalind have that authority?
I don't know. It's like they're comparing her to Donna when Donna was the COO in season 7 of Suits.
Right.
Rosalind is Ted's secretary.
Yes.
Does Leah report to Rosalind?
No. That's what I don't understand. Yeah, I guess like Rosalind's granting it on behalf of Ted and will fill him in retroactively.
Yeah, maybe that's.
But I feel like Leah should go to her direct supervisor, who's Erica.
Yeah.
I think this
org chart might be flat.
It might be a flat
situation. Mm-hmm. So then Leah visits Rick at his house. He's wasty, right?
So wasty.
Yeah, and she brings 4 scripts of a potential writer to sign, saying that she has read all of his scripts. So she's like, we have a conflict, but we wanted to give you the opportunity to read this first.
It's very clearly Leah's scripts.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Because she's really talking them up.
Yeah.
Then Stuart tells Samantha about the whole David Bowie situation, and she's like, no, I'm not interested in stepping into the criminal world, and he wants to use my reputation, basically, to clear his name, and I'm not into that.
Right.
And Stuart's like, you know what, this is just like Ted, where I have to do all this dirty work, and you're holding your nose up at it. Like, you don't want anything to do with this entire side of the business when your name is also on the wall.
Right.
And he's like, that's not really fair. And he goes, all my client needs is for you to put 3 sentences together and then walk away. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
A little performance.
Ted runs into Samantha at breakfast, and they talk about Stuart and how he said that she reminds him of Ted. When you're a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail. But with Stuart, when you have a chip on your shoulder, it feels like the whole world doesn't respect you. Which I thought was interesting.
Very Lewis Lit.
Very Lewis Lit, yeah.
An observation of Stuart. So she kind of takes this and she's like, oh, yeah, interesting. And then Erica calls Rick to talk about the drunken message he left. Because I guess he left her something. And he's wearing these sunglasses, which look ridiculous because he's so hungover.
Yeah.
But also you need sunglasses when you're hungover.
Yeah.
And Erica's like, well, if you ever remember what you asked me to do, the answer is yes. And I'm thinking it's boning.
I was thinking boning too.
It was not
boning. We'll find that out later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted and Rick meet with a Harold Gunderson lookalike. Oh my gosh, you wrote that. I was thinking that. Did I say it out loud?
No.
Okay. I was like, this is like another Harold Gunderson.
He's like a Harold Gunderson if Harold Gunderson was in LA and
in charge of the Hollywood stars.
Yes.
Ready to Walk of Fame stars.
Yes. Yes.
They want him to help give John Amos a star, and he's like, no problem. It'll be 2 years, but that's just how it's got to be. And Ted tries to fast track it even more, and Ted gets aggressive and bangs his fist on the table and leaves. I thought it was interesting. Like, he was, like, really causing a scene, but nobody was really calling out that, like, Ted was causing a scene. Like, it kind of made a scene. Like,
it was a huge scene at
Yeah.
breakfast, too.
Yeah, right?
Like, breakfast is a quiet meal.
Yeah.
Breakfast is, like, not until I've had my coffee.
Shh, I have this turkey bacon.
Yeah. Shh.
I got these
Hi.
fresh eggs that came from Trader Joe's in an incubator.
Shh. You're going to grow your own chickens.
You're going to grow your own chickens.
I am going to grow my own chickens.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of chickens they're going to be.
Okay.
I might just buy the chickens.
Okay. I can't wait to hear about it.
It's like a 5-year plan.
Okay.
It's not going to happen, like, right now.
Okay. That's fine.
Someday.
Okay. That's great. Can't wait to eat those eggs.
Mm-hmm. So then Ted leaves that breakfast, and we see a flashback to Kevin react. First of all, I love how many flashbacks there are in Suits
There's
LA.
so many.
But I love it.
I
now,
do too,
now
I
I'm
think
getting the cadence of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm understanding Suits LA more.
Yeah.
So then here we are, and it's a flashback. Kevin is reacting to Ted's father's story and how he is most definitely going to get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And Ted's worried that he's going to get fired. And Kevin's like, hey, this is what you have to do. You have to go in there and you have to offer to prosecute your father, or you have to just quit because then you're going to get fired.
Right.
Which I was like, what? He's going to prosecute his father?
Right.
Can't he just be like, I'm not like my dad? I don't even have his last name?
Yeah.
Can you fire someone just because their dad's a jerk?
No, you can't.
Like, that's not
No. It's so
just
weird.
cause.
Yeah. Kevin sees his name in the office window. Erica got it all set up, and it says Kevin, fill in last name here because I can't remember it. In-house investigator, which is
Kevin.
also interesting. That, like, I thought it was weird to just say to put his title, because I feel like you wouldn't want everybody to know that comes in there that you have an in-house investigator.
Or that's his name and that's what he looks like if he's in there working. Right? Like, you have someone in there to depot them, and it's like, there's our in-house investigator. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them have them, but it's like, that's his face. There he is.
Maybe.
You don't want that.
I think I would want it to be a secret.
Yeah, you would want it to be. You should just put, like, a made-up name, like Evan K. McGillicuddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All about Big Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he's in there. He's in this office, and he's getting a little bit clamped. So Erica tells him just to sit there for a while and imagine what it would be like, because he still has a life back in New York.
Yeah, but he could picture himself with a life in LA.
Yeah.
A little better weather.
Yeah.
Flashback. It's Ted, and he's trying to talk to his boss about his dad and really trying not to get fired. And he's like, I want to prosecute him. I want to prosecute my dad. And Pellegrini is trying to get him off the case clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he tried to get his dad to offer him a job to directly interfere with the case. And his boss is like, wait, when were you going to tell me that? And he goes, I'm telling you right now. And he also confesses that he has lost Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
So the boss kind of feels some empathy for him or some sympathy.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, you can prosecute your dad and hope that he's the nail in the coffin for Pellegrini. And if he's not, you can prosecute Pellegrini and go after him with whatever you have, and then you will resign.
Yep.
Like, either get your dad to be the nail in the coffin or resign.
It's crazy. It's a weird ultimatum.
But still prosecute Pellegrini.
Yes. Also, please still do this other thing, too.
Golly.
Rick tells Ted he smoothed things over with the Harold Gunderson guy, and Ted says he thought he taught him better. He's like, you don't accept terms, you dictate them. And Ted is done wasting his time with Rick's excuses. And Rick tells him to his face, hey, go to hell. So
yeah.
They were doing great when they were getting drunky.
And then they got real hungover-y.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a morning after argument.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like, don't you want people to come to the table with some terms so that you know where they stand first?
Sometimes, yeah.
And then...
Yeah, he who speaks first loses, particularly when it comes to money.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, here we go. So, Leah is then trying to follow up with Rick as he is walking out of Ted's office after he has just told Ted to go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what did you think about the scripts? It's just like a lot of interest. And he goes, yeah, it's a hard no.
Yeah.
This guy is not ready. And she goes, well, he gives really good notes. Like, he's very well respected.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick says, just because someone can give notes doesn't mean they can write.
Right.
And also, he's using a pen name.
Yeah.
And that just shows me that he's not ready for this.
Yeah. So, that's probably hard for her to hear.
And he's also like, I know you're doing this as a favor to a friend.
Yeah.
And your friend is just not ready.
Yeah. Ah, dang.
Ugh, that's so hard. That's so
Well,
crushing.
she only had 48 hours to figure her career out, so,
But she must have been sitting on those scripts.
Yeah.
Like, she had them and she loved them.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I get it.
Yeah. You wrote a fantastic story the other day.
Thank you.
Did you already submit it?
I did.
Great. Kevin thanks Ted for. By the way, I digress. Maggie's going to be winning a.
I'm not.
Short story writing contest. So I saw the.
Thanks for manifesting it.
Entry, and I already know how this all plays out after all the rounds, so I can't wait to read the rest of them. But she's winning it. It's going to be really cool.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll come up there to New York when you win.
Okay.
Because you go to New York, I think.
Oh, do you?
I think you go do something if you win.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, I'll come up there.
I'd love to do something.
Yeah, great. Kevin thanks Ted for putting Erica up for the office bid, but Ted says he didn't put her up for it at all, and he knows why Kevin can't stay. It's his father. But before Kevin goes, there's something that they need to do.
They have to do something.
They have to do something.
Meanwhile, Samantha checks in with Stuart about David Bowie and how Stuart can put all of those bad feelings, like she's like, I know you feel the same way about him, but you managed to put them in a box, and I just cannot do that, and I will not be sticking my neck out and putting my reputation on the line again. But I will stand with you in a meeting.
Yeah.
And she goes, because I was talking to Ted and I realized, like, you know, you are great and I want to make sure that you know you're supported. And Stuart says, you actually don't need to do that. I just need to know that you'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference.
Yeah. It's kind of like you don't really want to go to the party. You just want the invite.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's like, well, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but when I was, I'd be like, they're like, it was a Facebook event. You didn't get invited. I'm like, no. I'm like, I would have never gone.
I would have never gone, but I would have put
really
maybe.
Yes. But like, I said no. I want the option to tell them no rather than be like, I'm not going because I wasn't invited.
Right. You want to know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Ted calls Rick to apologize. Him blowing up had nothing to do with Rick, and it was about how the last time he talked to John, they had a fight about forgiving his father, and he didn't take his advice.
Yeah.
Ted always wanted his dad to be like John Amos' dad's character, and he always didn't want to create that dynamic between his dad and him with him and Rick. And Rick says he's ahead of the game for apologizing and having that conversation. So don't worry, you're not going to be like your dad.
Yeah, you're not passing on. You are not your father.
Yeah.
Just because you made a mistake.
Yeah.
So then we see Leah, and she is presenting Tina, the filmmaker, with her engagement letter and terms of service, and it is a very professional meeting. Leah is wearing a blazer. She is sitting there. She is not like giggly or laughy. She's very serious, and she's playing lawyer. Like this is the kind of attorney she's going to be, and she gives it to Tina straight too. She's like, I'm also going to tell you the script is not ready. And Tina's like, well, other lawyers I met with said they could get it sold. She's like, yeah, people can get it sold, but I want to get it made. Because you can sell your script and then it just sits in a production house and never, ever, ever gets made. But if it's a good enough script to get made, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah. Erica tells Kevin her mom is going to get together with Caroline Baker next month, who he found. And then Kevin tells her why he can't stay. Kevin never made it to retirement at the FBI. He got kicked out. And his dad let him take over his detective agency. And it's the last bit of his father that he can hold on to. So he's like, I just can't let it go. Erica asks if him getting kicked out of the FBI had anything to do with Ted. And he says, that's a story for another time. And all I thought was, they're going to have some more donuts that they're going to name. And then he's going to tell that story. You know?
Donut ask me about why I got kicked out of the FBI.
Woo!
Until I've had my coffee.
Donut
Ask me. So then we see Leah, and she tells Rosalind, like, hey, here's the client I signed, and I'm all in. And Rosalind's, I'm glad you picked Elaine. And she goes, no, I made my own, because I'm still going to give notes and feedback, but I'm also going to be an attorney.
Yeah.
So she's got her, she gets a little bit of both worlds.
That's great.
And Rosalind's like, thank God, because when you were up for hire, it was between you and this other attorney, and they were a better attorney, basically, Rosalind says. They had more experience, they had a better resume, but I picked you because I saw something in you, because you reminded me of me.
It's so interesting.
So Rosalind makes all the hiring decisions.
I can't quite figure out her character.
I can't either.
I don't know if they know it yet either, and I think, here's my guess. Rosalind is Ted's secretary.
Yes.
Donna was Ted's secretary. And I know they're trying to differentiate.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, it was Harvey's. it was such a pivotal role. It was supposed to be just like a small role, and then it ended up becoming a main character role by the end of that season. Like they were like, oh, you're sticking around. This is not going to. So I think while they are differentiating themselves for sure, like we can talk about, the similarities. We can make some metaphors or some similes, right? But they're also very different. This is a hard thing because it was such a big role, and so this is my guess.
They don't know what to do with it.
And
I feel like
because we're not seeing it. Like I want to see more of her.
I do.
It's just like it's not quite consistent. Like I don't quite understand her role there, based on what I know about a legal secretary.
Well, I don't understand that from this episode, but also like who she was in the first episode to who she is like in episode 7 feels like a totally different character.
Yeah.
And even in that one episode where she was featured a lot, it's kind of like, okay, it's just, I don't know. I don't really get her yet. It does feel like she's being like, and the actress is great.
Yeah,
right?
she's great. We want to see more and like consistently understand what her
backstory is.
Yeah. We haven't seen a flashback yet with her.
Which also, let me be fair, I remember because I have only recently started watching Suits the original while we're recapping it.
Yeah.
I remember saying in season 1, like, I don't really get Jessica Pearson.
Oh, interesting.
Do you remember me saying that?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get her. Like, I need to know more about her.
Maybe there's just too many that they're trying to do. It's a lot to develop. They're also spending a lot of time in flashbacks.
Yes.
So maybe it's just we're
not getting a lot of the present day characters.
Yeah, and we don't know if it's been picked up yet for season 2.
I hope it is because I really am finding it more enjoyable now. Like last episode and this one, I found truly, I was like, okay, I get it.
It was all clicking for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So then while Rosalind is talking to Leah, the phone rings and she goes, okay, I have to answer this. And she has to go tell Ted it's Stuart, and Ted's like passing through.
Yeah.
And Stuart's calling to express condolences for John Amos. And that's it. Then Ted calls him Slugger and hangs up.
Yeah. Amanda walks in to see why Ted asked her to be in that staff meeting but didn't have a chance to say why, and he tells her he wants to nominate her for the new head of criminal defense. She will need to think about it. Also, to be clear, he was going to ask in front of everyone because he thought that she would like a grand gesture, which is real good.
Also, she can't say no in front of like a whole crowd, and she's like, I'll think about it.
Also, I think that the reason that she is going to maybe say no, if she does say no, which I'll get to my predictions, is because she wants him to show her his grand gesture instead.
Oh, you got a little Mike Ross hammer in there. She wants to see, get some nails done.
Yep.
Some pictures to be framed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some picture nails. Popping some holes in the wall.
Okay, sorry.
That's what it sounds like to put up frames. So then we see Rick, and he calls Erica because he has remembered why he called her, and she goes, your place or mine. And then Ted, he says my place, I guess. And so she's like, okay, I'll go over there. And then Ted is behind her, and he's like, oh, so we're just like making Kevin job offers now and giving him offices. And she goes, oh, well, I thought you might want to have your partner. It makes it nice to work with them because I already have my partner.
Yeah.
She's like, that partner.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Flashback. Ted tries to convince his dad to testify against Pellegrini. His dad is not going to do it. And Ted says, I want, for once, for my father to do the right thing. And his dad admits that he is scared. And why does Ted's dad look like he's wearing old people face makeup?
I typed that in. That was my deposition.
Oh.
For you.
Okay.
Why does Ted's dad look like he's wearing old people face makeup?
I think he might be.
I think so, too.
To make him look older, because that guy isn't any... Well, he's probably maybe a little bit older than the actor that plays Ted Black, but he's been in other, like...
He's not that much older.
They're almost the same age. So
like
I think
the eyes and
I think he's wearing the old people face makeup.
Yeah.
Like what you would also see if you put on, like, the old people filter on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Makeup. That's what he looks like.
It's not good to have him look like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I find it very distracting when his dad is on the screen because he looks too old.
Yeah. His dad says that he would rather go to prison than die.
Yeah. Yikes.
What a bad daddy.
I don't think he's gonna help Ted.
He's a bad daddy.
He's a bad daddy.
Bad daddy.
Not like John Amos.
Yeah, he was a good dad.
So then we see Ted and Kevin. The thing that they had to do is they're in the conference room. They're watching Good Times. And as an honor to John Amos. And at the same time, Rick and Erica are at his conference room watching Good Times as an honor to John Amos.
Yes.
And it's like this really beautiful scene from
Mhm.
Good Times, and John Amos is an incredible actor.
Yes.
And I thought that was such a beautiful way to honor him. I had no idea that he had actually passed after he appeared in the first episode.
Yeah, I figured it out pretty early on, only because I don't think that they would kill off a real actor that was playing a real actor in a show that's also older.
Yes,
you know?
I know.
I was like, like, oh God, I bet he died.
But they did such a great job.
They did a great job, and he died on August 21st of 2024. And to my recollection, that's around the time that they started filming Suits LA. So, and he was in the pilot. It is highly possible he died very soon after he was on set.
After he filmed the pilot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it was probably really fresh for them. So,
yeah.
Maybe not when they filmed this episode, but like it was just fresh that he had passed away because he had just been there.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I thought it was like, what a scene to pull too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great scene to pull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a really nice. It was a really nice way to end it. It was called Good Times. So, kudos to them.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job.
a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's hard to do, and you want to do it. You want to do it right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a great job, and making the whole episode about Ted's dad too,
Mm-hmm.
and in contrast with
Mm-hmm.
with America's dad.
Yeah, it was really great.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, really loving it. Sometimes when I love something so much, I have to take a step back from it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it needs to just take a quick little getaway.
Get away. Me too.
Me too. Take a little getaway.
I would love to.
Okay.
Let's go to Prediction Town.
All aboard.
Chaka 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 choo.
Chaka 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 chaka. Here we are. Maggie, kick us off.
All right, well, I thought of one while we were talking.
Okay.
I think Caroline Baxter, the mom that Kevin has found, the friend of Erica's mom, I think she is in legal trouble.
Okay.
And she's going to need some help.
Okay.
And then maybe Kevin gets called back because he found her.
Okay.
So find more dirt.
Okay.
I think that there's going to be a flashback of Kevin getting kicked out of the FBI.
Okay.
I think Harvey will be in the next episode in the flesh because we saw it in the preview. I'm wondering if it has to do with Pellegrini.
I think so, because they were showing the clip of one of my favorite sayings is sometimes the good guys have to do bad things to make the bad guys pay.
Yeah.
And as soon as Ted said it, I was like, oh, it's a Harvey quote. And then they show Harvey.
And he's like, I got to get you back to New York or something.
Yeah.
So, yes, excellent. Then I also think this is kind of out there, but possible. I think Stewart's beard is going to catch fire this season, and he's going to need to shave it all off, and then he's going to feel very naked without all of that face hair, and he's going to feel vulnerable, and it's going to really teach him to open up.
Okay.
To get that chip off of his shoulder.
Okay. I'm going to make my predictions right here. I think I did already say I think Amanda might turn down the role of criminal defense.
Because she wants some nailing.
Because she wants to be nailed. And
with a hammer.
Yeah, I think... Let's see here. I think Erica and Rick, the Ricks, right?
The Ricks.
I think that they're also gonna
do some picture nails.
They're gonna hang some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that Rosalind is gonna have a really key part in one of the next episodes because she's gonna interject herself into a case.
Ooh.
Would that be kind of interesting to see?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, because this one was a milder, we just finished the whole Lester arc.
Yes.
Or Dester, right?
Yes.
And so...
This was more about the characters.
Yes.
Not about the case.
We needed that.
We did, and I think the next episode's going to be about the case.
Yeah, but I think Rosalind's going to interject herself somehow.
Ooh. Interesting.
And I think Samantha's going to get really jealous of Amanda and Ted. I do think there's
I think that's going to be
happening here.
Yeah, there's something to brew.
Something to brew.
Something is a brewing.
We have a guest next week because you'll be out of town.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. So our friend Whitney, who oftentimes we will quote on the OG Suits podcast because she watches and gives lots of inputs, will be joining us live, and
she's great.
She's great.
She watched last week with us.
Yes, and had lots of hot thoughts.
Great hot thoughts.
Yeah. So she's excited, and so please come and join and support her. We will miss Maggie while she is out.
But I'll be back.
You'll be back.
Unless you love Whitney more, and then the show is no longer about sisters-in-law, just...
Friends.
No,
never. I love Whitney, but no, you're my sister-in-law.
Thank you. We're stuck.
We are stuck. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you're looking for something to start the review with, you can say, "Cat's out of the garage. This podcast is fantastic."
Can't wait to update everybody about Mungo, Jerry, and Rob. Things are a notorious way of working together.
Slow faded in.
You think it was luck, and some other time you could say it was weather.